Hi everyone, just wanted to do another video here. I'm going to call this Worldwide Ascension Part 4. I actually have, real quick update, I do have the first person that I'm going to do an interview with, because I want to interview people from around the world who are kind of going through this awakening process. So spiritual journey, spiritual path, back to, who we truly are. So I want to, I will start that as well. So I may have another video coming up here soon. I'm just putting together the interview questions. I've almost finished them. And I'm looking for more people actually around the world. I speak very little Portuguese and less Spanish. So if you are interested and you're from other parts of the world, I would love to hear from you, to interview you if you're going through this process. So that being said, let's jump into this. This video, again, is kind of my perspective, my truth, my beliefs. We all have different truth. We all have different beliefs. I want to touch base real quick before I go into it further, that I've noticed today, and I did post this today on Facebook, that there are a lot of people being attacked verbally. And when you come out of a place of love or your truth, it may trigger others, and this is their fear. Stand your truth, stand your beliefs, because without that, then you're being censored. And that actually brings up the topic I talked about today on Facebook, is about censoring. And this is very important, because if we can't say our truth or speak our truth, then we aren't being ourselves. Okay? So let's just stand together, united, as one unified race, unified beings of love. Let's just be love, okay? Let's just do that, and not give in to the fear and the anger, because that's not why we're here. There's so much of that we see in the political arena, in the mainstream news, and other avenues and venues around the world, companies. We see it happening everywhere. So let's not spread hate. Let's not spread violence. Let's not spread anger, okay? You can speak your truth, which is important to do. But when people start attacking others for their truths, then it becomes it becomes fear. So let's not give into that. Anyway. Okay, so this time I want to talk about a few things. I'm going to try to get it all in here, okay? The first thing I had mentioned last time was the quantum field, okay? So let's go into what the quantum field is. And this is this is what I had channeled. It's also, I've gotten this information from scientific knowledge as well. But quantum particles, we all have quantum particles inside our bodies, okay? Quantum particles are like the subatomic, subatomic level, okay? Quantum particles are energy. It's pure energy. It's like source God energy, whatever you want to, creator energy, okay? We all have that inside our bodies. We're made up of quantum particles. Our DNA, everything. So these quantum particles in our body exist. The way it works is we're in a quantum energy field. So when we focus our intention, along with our heart, along with our beliefs, those quantum particles manifest our reality around us, okay? So that's what creates all the physical objects and the around you that you see. That's what creates you. That's what creates everything, energy, okay? It's energy. So when you focus your heart emotion, that frequency with your intent and your belief in your mind, and it merges with the quantum particles. Quantum particle is like consciousness, okay? It's like a blast of energy. It hits together, it creates this, it manifests. So that's how we perceive our reality, as these quantum particles come together and create that, okay? I know I read an article, and I'll have to try to find it, and I can send it to any, I'll try to post it, I'll try to find it. But I read an article that computer technology groups are trying to find that way to connect the quantum particles to consciousness so they can manifest physical items by creating that. But the part that the simple formula that they're missing is the heart frequency, the heart center, okay? You have to have that emotion, you have to have that love in the formula. You can't just use the quantum particles and the intention of it, what you want to create. You have to have that power of your heart, because that's what really holds everything together, okay? So that brings me to this next, and I have my notes here, and I just kind of scan them when I look at them. But anyway, that comes to my next area that I want to talk about, which is the earth changes. So as we're going through this changes, and there's a lot of cosmic energy coming in, there's a lot of things changing people's consciousness. People are, we're seeing, now that in Paris, I read that the whole city is almost shut down. Quote me if I'm wrong. This is what I saw in today's article on, I believe it was Huffington Post or whatever it was. Irrelevant, but that's what I saw. But apparently, protesting and striking the government, strikes against new government regulations. So, that Hong Kong, Chile, I see it all over the world. That's happening. People are kind of standing up and getting their voices heard, and uniting together. That's what's important. Uniting. So these earth changes are happening. Not only that, but the physical earth changes are happening. There's a lot of areas on this planet where there is like a lower density, a lower frequency, okay? So, if you look at places and all over the earth, there's been wars. There's been World War I, World War II. We've had many other wars, the Korean War, Vietnam War. We've had Afghanistan. It goes on. The list goes on and on. So my point is, there's a lot of this dense energy that has to be released from Mother Earth. And the way she does that is by earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, weather, whatever it is, that has to be cleansed, okay? That energy has to be released. And that's why we're seeing such a huge earth changes happening. Now, of course, not all earth changes are Mother Earth doing it. There is weather manipulation, which I have talked about. There are HARP and there's DARPA. They kind of go hand in hand. We're using technology to manipulate, and this is patented. There's been patents put out there by the I believe Navy. I can send that information too, but there are patents out there. So anyway, but there are earth changes happening, and so where there's more negative energy or heavier dense energy, there's going to be more changes happening, okay? More, I would say, physical changes happening. It's got to shake up that negative energy. It has to release that. So doesn't mean it's going to happen everywhere there is heavy, one of the examples would be big cities, large cities. That doesn't mean it's going to take place and there's going to be a massive earthquake or something like that, but there's going to be changes, okay? And I'm not trying to say this to create fear, to scare people. It's just same way we release our emotions, the earth has to release her emotions, okay? And this energy goes hand in hand. Now, this next part I want to talk about is where everybody, and this has gone on all over, it's been talked about, the solar flash event, okay? And I'll explain what that is, and I'll explain this ascension, this process we're going through. So About every 26,000 years, we go through a cycle. First of all, the Earth does. The Earth goes through a cycle, and the civilization that's currently inhabiting the planet at that time goes through a process of ascension, okay, or a shift in their consciousness, or a change, a way for that civilization to evolve to the next level up, okay, which is basically a higher vibration, a higher realm, okay. And during that time, there is like 1,000-year period where the solar system here goes through the photonic belt in this galaxy. And the scientists have commented on that. Photonic belt is photon particle light particles. Okay, these light particles you can't see with the naked eye. They travel through everything, every bit of matter. So our bodies, everything, and it's been proven that these photon particles, changes the consciousness and how people think, how people perceive things. It evolves the civilization forward. So there's this 1,000-year period that this planet and the solar system goes through, where we go through this photon belt in the Milky Way galaxy. That's one part of it. And so the other aspect, though, that we're seeing is the solar flash event. Now, that's something that's separate, okay? The solar flash event is an event that it's pure energy, basically. Pure energy, God light, source light. It's all the same. Doesn't matter what the science explanation of it or the spiritual explanation of it. It's all related. So this solar flash is created by source, created by that pure energy that started everything, okay? Every millions of years or so, million of years, I don't know how many millions of years, and it's been proven on this planet has gone through that before. The extinction of the dinosaurs, things like that. It's been proven. The ice ages that we've gone through, the clearing of basically civilizations that have come and gone. So the solar flash event is basically emitted from source, God, creator, where it all started, okay? This flash of light, you want to call it or whatever, is a very, very high vibrational, high frequency. No darkness, no lower energy can exist in that because it's too intense. It's like love to the ultimate. This light, this flash, and scientists actually recently commented on this. There was an article about they've seen the flash that came out of the Milky Way galaxy. And that connects to source. So every black hole, I guess, of each galaxy, every galaxy is connected that way to each other by the black hole. It's like a portal, okay? A portal to each other, each galaxy in this universe. And so the solar flash event gets emitted out through each black hole, and it affects every star system and every planet. And it cleanses. Basically, it cleanses the density from everything. It removes the lower density emotions that we have. It removes any denseness. Okay, so in this process, we are going, as a planet, we are evolving, where we have that choice to evolve to that next level, next higher dimension. Now, there are those who obviously are here on this planet that are creating hatred, creating violence, and they just won't give that up. They will, basically what will happen is they'll pass, they'll leave the physical, and then they will just continue being incarnated and on other third-dimensional type planets that they can live out their polarity, their duality, okay? But most people, everyone has a choice. You have a choice to evolve and choose to shift your consciousness to higher vibrations, higher emotions, higher love, rather than giving into that negative, that denseness. Because I think we all have seen so much of this. We're just tired of it. We want something new. We want to be in a higher expression of ourself, our true self, our higher self, which is God, which is creator, which is source. However you want to, put labels on it. It's just about love, basically. So this solar flash event will happen. Now, I can't say when this will happen. Now, because it's really event driven. It's event driven. What I mean is there's a specific timeline of events that happen on this planet that triggers this solar flash. It's being kind of guided along for this planet. So certain events have to happen on this planet in a sequence where it will trigger this solar flash. Okay, it's based on our consciousness. We're creating this. This is what we are creating. I will go into, I don't want to talk about in this video because it goes into more of a in-depth how this kind of the history of how this universe we're in, because there's parallel universes, but how this universe had been infected by a virus or this dark energy, because it's not compatible with this universe. Okay, so anyway, I'll go to that next time. I got other things I want to kind of talk about here, but so this is what the solar flash event is. So there's two processes happening. There's this photonic belt that we're going through, and then there's the solar flash event. So there's a lot of this energy coming in right now to the planet, and that's why there's a lot of releasing of old energies people are doing. I've seen it a lot, like I said today, a lot of triggering, a lot of fear being released from people. And that's okay, because it's good to get rid of that, but also to acknowledge that fear and not give into it, because it's important to see it for what it is, accept it, and then say you want to release it, not hold on to that fear or anger. So that's what the solar flash event. So I hope that kind of explains it a little bit. I know I didn't get into too much, but the just basic concepts of it. So what happens during this time, as I explained before, our physical bodies change, our consciousness changes, everything changes. As the protons are released from matter and from our bodies, more electrons, more light particles come in, photon light, that changes our cells, that changes the way it will basically heal us. Basically, it's a higher version of us. Okay, a higher meaning in a higher vibrational version of us. So I hope that kind of explains it. Now, I do want to change really quick. I want to talk about what I channeled because this relates, kind of an update here. I've shared this with a few people already, but I want to share it with everybody else because I think this is very important. Yesterday afternoon, I channeled this, so it works perfectly to kind of give me an update on this. What I got, there will be a unification event on this planet, which will be massive, that will unfold. It's related to this 12/12 we're coming up, which is tomorrow for most of us. Some of us are already in tomorrow. But this 12/12 portal, okay? Okay, so sorry, I had to plug my laptop in, so I had to pause the video quick. This is nice about this camera on my laptop. I can pause the video, whereas before on my phone I couldn't do that. So this it's a unification. I don't know what that event is. I'm trying to get more clarification, but it'll be a unification of this planet, a unifying event. The other thing I got is an event has been placed within the fold of time in humanity. I'm not sure what that is really. I'm giving this channel information. You can perceive it and kind of come to your own conclusions. I will try to get more details. When I channel like this, I'll explain, I channel like this, it comes really quickly. So I don't get a chance to ask what the detail is until later. How do I say? Because when I do, if I stop to ask, then it kind of breaks that connection. So I can give my perception of it, what I believe it is. Event, I believe that it's related to a lot of the corruption that's going on. I believe that's part of these events that we're seeing in the political arenas. I believe take it how as you want. You can draw your own conclusions. I believe it could be a collapse of certain things, maybe maybe old systems, maybe it has to do with the money system. It could be a number of things. But these events, these old energies are breaking down. These old systems are breaking down, and they're going to continue to break down on, because we're shifting our consciousness. People are tired of the old ways. So that creates a new system. That energy is manifesting, and it's going to manifest in the physical. It's that quantum energy, that quantum particles with the heart frequency, with their intention, that changes our reality. Okay, there will be an involvement of the past becomes validation. So an involvement of the past becomes validation. That could be anything. It could be something that's been hidden in the past. What I get will be released, will become knowledge for all public to see. Something that's been hidden, some truth. A time-sensitive issue is at hand. Now, this one was important. This one was very important. This goes back to the sequence of events, as I mentioned. Everything is, these events are kind of sequenced in order to how they should unfold, okay? So a series of events has to be kind of timed. We're on a timeline. We're all on one timeline now. But to keep this timeline where it doesn't drastically change, certain events have to keep going forward so that humanity can awaken to the truth, can awaken to who they are. And so events are kind of kept on track. It's kept on track from by our creation, by our consciousness. So these events have to there's like a sequence. It's all time sensitive. Everything gets played out. And I believe this has a relation to the solar flash, this shift that we'll see. And the solar flash event, again, like I should give a little bit more clarification. It will be a physical event. This will be a physical event. It'll be like the sun just gets really, really bright where it's almost blinding light, and it will just pass through everything. It'll be like a flash of energy from the sun. It will be physical. So I believe that's what this will be, is a time sensitive. Everything is kind of linked together. I got a return of the one becomes solid. One as in capitalized one. I don't know what that means. A return of the one. Many may say Christ. Sananda, I say Christ. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I know I'm giving this information, and people say, well, why are you giving this if you don't know what it means? So I'm just putting that information out there so you can kind of digest it and come to your own truth, okay? I want to give my truth, but I also want you to come with your own truth, because this is how we discern information and discern what is out there. I'm happy to channel more for anybody that wants to. I do tarot cards. I did tarot cards to this. I had some information that came through at a tarot related to this, which is based on what I kind of said, that the events happening, a unification, the masculine. Many men are being challenged within how they feel, how they perceive themselves. It's like a battle in their mind, you know what I mean? A lot of men are being challenged to become more in tune with, their emotional side. Really, that's what it is showing their emotions, showing that love, because that's important. We all are that. We are all both. We're really in the higher realms. We're neither masculine nor feminine. We have the complete balance of everything of the universe. But when we come into this physical incarnation, yes, we take on a more masculine energy or a feminine energy. But the two hemispheres of the brain, the right and left, masculine and feminine, if you notice, the brain has been separated. That's connecting now. The neurons, everything that's part of this photonic light that's trying to connect those neurons and those synapses together to bring the both together, the both sides of our brains. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I go a little bit kind of go into it further. I like to talk, as you know. The other thing I got was the apex or the turning points has been reached in humanity. So we are at over that halfway point of where the energy can really transform this planet, where people's consciousness have shifted completely to see massive changes happening and physical events. So it's manifesting now. That's where this quantum field comes in. And then the last thing I got was a power event is amplified. That could be, this what we're going to see. I get a sense of it's coming to fruition, like I said. So what I will do, I'm reaching close to 30-minute mark here, but again, I appreciate you subscribing below. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Please, feedback. I love the feedback I've heard from many people. Contact me. I do reading spiritual sessions for people. So what I do, again, is I help people with blocks they may have in energy. Maybe they want to know about their spirit guides. Maybe they want to know about a situation or what their purpose is, what their mission is. And what I do is I connect with their spirit guides, which can be a family member that's passed. It could mean their guardian angel, if you call it, their higher self. I connect on that frequency, and then I kind of bring those messages through. So it's not me, it's not my message, it's the message from them, their higher self, or their spirit guides. I'm happy to actually incorporate a tarot reading in this too, because a lot of people are interested in tarot cards. I have done this for 15 years or more. I used to do them in my spiritual sessions. I will do it if requested. But I do like how they present themselves because they're very accurate. And tarot is just another method of divinity, of how do I want to call it? People might call it psychic, fortune telling, or whatever. It all goes hand in hand. It's basically information that's already out there, but it's just being brought forth through another means of communication. Simple as that. Just like anything, just like how somebody may interpret the Bible or religion. It's just another way of means of interpreting information that's already there, but bringing it out to the forefront. Okay, so I do that. So if you're interested in, I can include a little tarot card at the end of these videos and add that. But again, I'm going to be doing a kind of a series of interview videos to people, and I'm trying to get that, like I said, put together. There were some apps that could be used, I know, that allows for recording of the interviews, where you can see a screen in the corner of the person and then the other person here being interviewed. I know there were some apps recently that charge now for it, and so I really don't want to pay for that because I don't have much money. So I think Skype does it. But if you have any recommendations on that, please forward them to me. I appreciate it. But for now, that's all I have. I appreciate you watching my videos. I love all of you very much. Let's be together. Let's keep this together. Let's not give in to that fear, and just be united, because we're all here together. We're all supporting each other. That's the important thing. Support, love, be present. Okay? God bless. Thank you all. Love you very much.